Welcome back to the Sice Room, where DMV culture, politics, and hip hop collide. I'm your host, Trey Five, and tonight we got a wild mix of topics from crab joints to courtrooms to celebrity beef to political tension. We got something for everybody. Let's not waste y'all time, man. Welcome to the Sice Room, and let's get straight into it. First segment of the day is Who's Sicing? So let's start off local with the crab plug on Georgia Avenue. The crab plug on Georgia Avenue just got destroyed by a customer who wasn't feeling the service. Videos show a whole display smash. They using bricks to break the windows and the doors, and they really was just going ham, I guess, over a chicken wing special. So with the chaos going on in the store, I want to know from y'all perspective, how should business disputes be handled? Is the black business, should that be accountable? Should black customers be accountable? Who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? Are we slicing, or is that a legit reason? Do they have legitimate reasons to destroy the crab plug? Let Trey go first. Go ahead, brother.
No, I ain't gonna lie. It's like at the end of the day, they always say the customer right, but at the same time, you guys still look at it as people being humans. So at the end of the day, it's like you going in a place, respect the place. But if you feel like you disrespected, you can handle it, a different type of way. You ain't gotta go out your way. And the next thing you cause chaos, and then stuff get to a point. It's like it's tiring. You keep talking about the same crazy stuff. Like we don't want. We like to hear good stuff. You get what I'm saying? But it's like with people, they just they stuck on not growth. Like it just you get what I'm saying? Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Well, in my opinion, excuse me, the customer didn't have to go as far as to doing all of that, but I can understand the frustration with that particular restaurant. I've been there and I never got served. I sat myself and I didn't go off like that, but it's like these restaurants need to take accountability for customer service. It's like you're dealing with food and people. You need good customer service. Again, the customer wasn't right to do all of that, but I can understand frustration on the bottom line of it. But it's crazy.
And I
This
think
thing.
it, oh,
Go
go ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead, boo boo.
And it probably just stems from, thank you, from more so just not having the right reasons to go into business. At the end of the day, for the customer, it's like hold yourself accountable and know how to handle yourself as an adult. But for the business itself, you got to be able to take account, like you say, it's customer service. So if we're as black people going to bring these business in our community, let's serve our community correctly.
Definitely just want to piggyback on that. The customer service in the DMV area in general is just poor. It's poor. There's not a lot of places I can go to get great customer service at all. I was just in a Louis store and was overlooked after already paying for a product to pick up. Didn't get acknowledged. Security ended up apologizing and some more shit. But that's just to add on to that. Businesses should definitely be accountable for the type of service they provide. And to be completely transparent, I know one of the individuals. We should factor in some mental health concern. Did we factor in any of that outside of the poor customer service? I mean, you never know what a person is going through or how they may be triggered. I just think that we just need to get the full story, and that the restaurant and their play on it should also be, held to the nail just as much as the customer was. That's just my opinion. Because if he comes back and sue, we don't know the other side. So that's just my opinion.
That's strong.
What's good? What's good?
What it
I
do? We
don't.
talk about the crab plug situation.
I came in kind of late on the topic, so I ain't really catch the beginning. You said
The crab plug on Georgia Avenue getting destroyed.
it was a customer that did it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I ain't really for like destroying public property because you disgruntled about service or so. It's a way to handle it or what have you. I probably need some more context on it. Realistically, see like what triggered it, but either way, like that's above and beyond in my opinion.
Is it also above and beyond for an employee to threaten someone while on the clock? 'Cause, I mean, we didn't consider those things either.
Yeah,
I'm
that's why I
just
said I need
saying.
some context, like what, like the whole incident. So an employee started the incident.
I'm saying we don't know. I saw video clips, and from my perspective, it looked like the employee was aggressive as well. I mean, that's just my observation.
Yeah, it'd be like heated situations. I would need to know like who started the whole back and forth. Was it like y'all taking too long, so now they just randomly want to hop over the counter? Was the employee being an asshole, and then that triggered a response from the customer? You know what I'm saying? What do the reports say? It just reports like it was an incident. They don't say like where it stemmed from or nothing.
Now, when it comes to customer service, nah, they say it stemmed over, I guess, a wing special, and the Crab Plug restaurant literally just dropped a crash out 8-piece wing special in honor of the video and the incident that happened
So they decided to crash out. Yeah,
with
that ain't.
with
Then you
marketing.
crashing. You got people crashing out over food at that.
Yeah, that's not
Like,
it.
come on now. Like, you can't just pay for your food, go about your business. You gotta cause chaos. Like, come on now. It's like every time they throw out a special, it's not even just about the food, shoes, clothes, anything. It's like, why, as a black community, why do we gotta fight? Why do we gotta do like the negative? Why we can't just go about the positive? Like, we got the youth out here nowadays. You got the YNs. What they looking at? Negativity. So what they gonna go outside and do? Negativity, because that's what they see. But at the end of the day, if you stop the negativity and bring in the positive, then you got the YNs thinking like, I can go ahead and do something positive. If now you can, got the YNs, if they see somebody doing something dumb, they might correct it, but you just never see it because it's just the way we live, the world we live in right now. It's just they don't see but as long as we got people like us that's on this podcast spreading the positive, they gonna see it one way or another. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be steps to it and levels to it. But we gonna get there. But it gotta take all of us, not just a couple of us. Cause shoot, we gonna need a whole army if we want to go against the government.
So it was some youngest that did the joint. They say the age
Nah,
group,
nah, I'm
age
nah,
bracket.
nah. It wasn't no youngest, but I'm just saying in general. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the like the negativity, like with them fighting over the deal and stuff. Like it's just everything in general.
No, they
Like
created a deal based off the situation.
What's the
Right. That's
situation?
why I was going to ask him, like,
Yeah,
who are you holding accountable? Because the restaurants are now playing on a negative situation. Do we not
Yeah,
hold
yeah,
them
yeah.
you got
accountable
you
instead
got
of
you got
spreading
hold you
awareness?
got hold you
What's
got
the
everybody got to get accountable. Accountable.
yeah?
Got to take accountability for everything.
So
Everybody,
that so
not
what
just
we so in the
What was the
accountability of the people that
situation?
destroy the property, what the law hold them accountable. So then who holds the restaurant accountable?
All right, so like it's a tier
People.
system. It's a tier system. You can morally say the restaurant was wrong for having a special based on the situation. I would like to know the context of the situation too. But either way, that's not cool. That's similar to like
they
and
trying to make
pizza
money
doing the
off of
Mary
it.
and Barry situation, right?
I think the same
Like
thing.
that's just poor taste of the restaurant. Cool. You gotta hold them accountable for that by not going and buying the special. You don't go to the restaurant and then crash out because now you just wilding out in public. So you gotta hold yourself accountable for going in there acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? In the law, or if the property owner reported it and all that stuff, they'll make them responsible in court. You know what I'm saying? Property damage charges if it all goes that far. What have you. But like everybody got some accountability. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have went in there and crashed out because they did something that I felt was disrespectful to somebody I may or may not know. I would have probably more so told everybody not to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, if they doing that, we ain't buying nothing from over there. We ain't fucking with that shit. And then it wouldn't have been no incident. That's the mature me. You know what I'm saying? The YN me might have threw a brick through the joint. Also, who y'all playing with? You know what I'm saying? There's levels to it. But everybody got to hold themselves accountable, like my man Trey said. Everybody got some accountability.
And I think it more so frustrates us because on the business side, it's like you're making a joke out of our community. On the individual side, you can kind of separate it. But for all, a business, we namesake, like you're kind of making a joke out of us to everybody looking in.
Especially if they're known to have bad customer service. Like I heard about bad customer service before I went, but I'm like, you know what? They got bust down crabs. I'm a going, so It's
That,
like they really
that's
playing in your
everywhere.
face, like ah. And what?
Honestly, I heard of it so many times. I'm never going there now after this incident. I will never support it. That's just me.
What's the
That's
spot and what's the
that's
situation? If
and that's
anybody can
everywhere, and
fill
that's
me in,
everywhere though. You know,
what was the incident that happened that they named the special at, and what's the name of the spot?
The Crab Plug on Georgia Avenue.
Okay,
And after the situation happened, they came out with a marketing scheme called the Crash Out $8 wings because apparently that's what the dispute was about. A eight piece wing special. So then they came out with an 8 piece wing special called the Crash Out Meals or some shit.
yeah,
okay.
that's
So
for
it
them
was a spot
to basically.
already. Go ahead, go ahead.
Nah, I'm saying that's like basically them. You know, they getting a little promo deal, and not only that, it's like they thinking like, they had the crash out there. They think people gonna come there. Nah, you're wrong. If we stop that, they ain't got no business. If people don't go there, who they, how they gonna pay their bills now? But then it's also like who they hiring. Is their background good? You gotta
Look,
also check. You gotta check the employees at the same time, just like you gotta check yourself when you come in the restaurant.
and one more question before the next one would the culture be to blame? They wouldn't just make Crash Out wings if they didn't think we would be able that they wouldn't woo us with the Crash Out wings.
But
It's a
that's all you
language
see.
of
That's
what.
all you
Look
see
at
is
Trey.
people
You
crash.
still call the youngins YNs. I don't even use that term. I never use YNs. I never use that term because I'd rather call you a youngin than a young nigga. Like the fuck. Like them
Yeah,
YNs. YNs
Just
just
because
give me
what's
ski mask and
associated with
Nike
it.
Tech. Yeah, just give me ski
Yeah,
mask, Nike Tech, UUV. That's what YN give me.
but
And a
but
little
that's
rusty switch.
yeah, but that's what they think is cool. But we got as us being on this podcast, we got shown that it's more to this. You know what I'm saying?
And to add to that, we also are responsible for reflecting on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something to take with you. We can't be on a podcast trying to unify and promote positivity. We gotta be conscious of the things. We gotta look ourselves in the mirror. We all do. We all got shit we gotta work on.
yeah,
So
yeah.
with that
It's a,
being said, I ain't gonna lie, I give them both a little bit of grace because after you get your property destroyed, you're gonna have to try to shake back some type of way. So I mean, they leaned into a marketing strategy that was catered to our culture that they feel like what I'm saying, would spark a buzz. And the people, I didn't have bad customer service. I can't say I ever did nothing like that, but I know what it's like to get bad customer service, especially pertaining to food. That could really be triggering, man. When you're hungry and people playing with your food or they disrespecting you, it's a little different than you just playing with my shirt or not trying to let me buy some shoes. So
we gotta have a little bit more emotional awareness though.
for
'Cause,
sure.
like we can't let stuff. It's a way to handle stuff that'll get a lot further than the emotional response, and I think that comes with maturity in a lot of cases. But yeah, everybody got some accountability. I just wouldn't frequent that location no more. I would, what I'm saying, I would make it my mission to make sure me and all my folks didn't go to that joint.
Crab plug. I mean, some of us support it, some of us don't, man. I definitely been invited up there a couple times. I might still just go. I can't even lie to y'all. Next up, we got some Breakfast Club drama. Jess Hilarious reportedly took maternity leave from her co-hosting gig and gave the green light to Lauren LaRosa to temporarily fill in. But when Jess came back, Lauren was still there, and tension started to build. Rumors say that Network tried to push for Lauren to stay, possibly as a fourth horse. I mean, possibly as a fourth host. Jess wasn't having it, and now we're seeing shade and subs flying from each lady. And then they had an episode where Jess came back after Jess went on her live rant, calling out the Breakfast Club. That next morning, Jess came in to express her anger about the situation face to face with Lauren. If any of you guys are hip to this conversation or situation, what is y'all thoughts on this?
Man, that joint was rigged, man. It was all staged. It wasn't no real beat. But let's say it was. I think Jess got a history of at least the narrative being that she's hard to work with. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, then this is another strike in that department. Um, it's a way to go on about handling things. But I don't be into the drama. I think like it was all staged because right after they did it, they announced that the other girl had her own show. So I feel like it was drummed up Hollywood drama to get a bunch of eyeballs over there so they could reveal the launch. That's my opinion.
I'm a little hip to the situation. It seems like, okay, so from what I know myself as Jess Hilarious, seem like, okay, just with the mess, cool. You talking about what's going on. It seems like the other girl, I forget her name, it seems like she had more so sources from when she talked about things. I was just doing my little research. But at the end of the day, it just seemed at the end of the day, it just seemed like if she got her own show, cool, man. I don't even know how I put it. It's just like, okay, cool. She ended up getting her own show. She probably was going to get that anyway because she was doing, in my opinion, a little bit better than Jess was anyway. So, and then to have that little argument on live or whatever that was, or on the show, it just was a little unprofessional. But it's just like that show you how it go. You went on maternity leave, you got pregnant. Like it ain't you. You know what I'm saying? It's on her. But you shouldn't have did it all on the for everybody to see. You definitely could have handled that like off camera.
So I'm gonna piggyback on what you were saying. I feel as though like if anything, if you guys go on maternity leave, okay, cool. If you tell that person to fill your spot, that's fine. But if she doing what she got to do, don't stop her. Don't stop her shine. Like let her do what she do. Y'all both be on the show. She got you get paid, she get paid. At the end of the day, you supposed to lift the woman up. At the end of the day, like I don't know, it's like it's just crazy. Jess is Jess. She gonna be who she is. But at the end of the day, if she handling the business, let her handle the business. Let her do what she gotta do to feed her family. Don't stop what she doing just cause you feel some type of way. But that's all. That's all I gotta say on that.
I don't really have much input on that topic.
Okay, I figured that's what you meant. My bad. So on you, Sheeta, you got a take on the Jess Hilarious Lauren LaRosa
Oh,
situation?
yeah. I was listening to the young lady, and I agree with her 1,000%. I think, and the guy before. I'm sorry, I can't see the names anymore because I'm on the thingy on the big screen. But he mentioned Jess having a play, on that clout. I do think some of it was strategic. However, Lauren does an excellent job, and she deserves her blessings. I'm for it. Um, I don't want to speak too negatively, so I'm just gonna end it there. Well deserved, Lauren.
That's a interesting take, Buck. I ain't gonna lie. Seeing how the show even came into its popularity with Ray J beefing with Fed, I can see how they could have premeditated this Jess and Lauren thing.
Yeah,
I
it's like she spilled the beans on her even being on the show prematurely to like create a negative buzz so that everybody could say she wasn't on the show and then they came out with a whole commercial. Nah, she is on the show. It's like all this Hollywood shenanigans involved. And like I get the maternity leave aspect. She was gone, whatever. Like Wink said, Lauren was doing a better job. I don't listen to the show every day, but like you see the clips online and whatnot, she was like more professional. So like Jess was more on the gossips. Uh, her segment was more gossipy, like how I feel, and then the other chick was more like informational from like you say like real sources, what's actually going on. So it just came off different. I do think Jess did have some like real emotional feelings in there as far as like the people perceiving the other girl a little bit better.
She was
Uh,
hating,
yeah,
simply hating.
Y'all want me
yeah,
to say the hot take? The hot take
yeah.
is Lauren came off way more feminine. She's way more easy on the ears. Jess is an attractive woman, and I'm not even like Lauren ain't even like particularly my style, but she's easy on the eyes. She come with the lipstick, the hair. She's coming with a very feminine woman vibe that she's bringing to the show versus Jess come off like one of the homies. And we know from being from this area, the Baltimore accent is like it's an acquired taste, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? You either like you love or you hate that accent. So it's a lot of people that's not familiar with people from Baltimore and how they talk. And her being a female talking like that early in the morning, and it's coming from she's transitioning from Angela Yee. So Lauren is the closest thing to Angela Yee. That's what it made people feel like they was back in the groove. So no disrespect to Jester, but I think that's a hot take that a lot of people not trying to say. Everybody's saying, "Oh, she's more informative. She's more feminine and way more softer tone, and it's way easier for definitely the male listeners to want to listen to or engage in any type of that gossip, and the women.
Yeah,
Just all over the
Oh,
place.
that was good.
I think it's yeah,
That
it's a
was
little
good.
bit of all of it, but it's definitely like the professionalism side of it. Because when they got into it, they started like spilling out what the girl actually did behind the scenes, like her resume. So like she has more of a resume behind the scenes to where she has more use cases than just. So even if she wasn't doing just that one segment, she would still be doing some work behind the scenes on the show. You know what I'm saying?
And
Hollywood shenanigans.
seeing them get into it and just banging on the table, and the girl telling her like, "Man, I ain't never gonna give you that." And they trying to make fun of the girl for going up the elevator. I'm like, "What's she supposed to do? Fight her in the elevator?" They co-workers. They not from the hood, the gang. This ain't no motherfucking gang. This is the
I'm
Breakfast
not about
Club.
to fight you at work, dog. Lose all
They
my
say
little
they trying to
credentials.
make fun of a young black woman because she don't want to be in the elevator. It's awkward. The girl just ranting on live. Nah, ain't nobody trying
The
to be in
night
the
before.
elevator with her
Yeah,
aggressive ass.
she
The
just
fuck?
went on me on her live like last night. You want me to? Oh yeah,
Hold the elevator for her. Yeah. And what have her staring at me and all. No, man. I
yeah.
think that was a little wild. They was put trying to put her in that blender.
But
But
like I said, that's not her first rodeo. You know what I'm saying? Cause they when she was on Wild 'N Out, and I ain't like so I don't want to get too all bashful and whatnot. I just be paying attention and whatnot. When she was on Wild 'N Out, they had some issues with her and some cast members about, I guess, the vibe on set or what have you, and she didn't last too long on that show. But I don't think this is directly related to this. I'm really leaning on that shit was staged. They might not necessarily get along. There might have been some hate in there a little bit, but overall, that shit was scripted.
all right. Another tragedy in the rap world, man. Sauce Walka was in Memphis when an artist affiliated with him was shot and killed. Say so, P. Is hip hop being targeted, or are we dealing with a lifestyle issue that is deeper than music? So, some small key points. Allegedly, I seen the video, but allegedly they stood over Sauce Walka and said to him, "No, we only came for him. He know what he did, even though Sauce got shot in the leg." So again, y'all, are we dealing with hip hop being targeted by the streets and gangs, or is this an issue with music and the hip hop culture mixing with the streets?
It's uh, it's a little bit of both, bro. Be honest with you, bled over. It's been bled over, but short answer would be in this situation. It sounds like he had some bad company around him. Because if it was like some extortion type stuff, or they was trying like, you know what I mean, they would have it would have went further than what it did. So it sounded like he just had the wrong people around him, which can happen very easily, especially when you like going back, reaching and pulling people up, and going back to your old stomping grounds and stuff, and you don't necessarily know what everybody be getting into. So like, you gotta watch your company. But outside of that, it's a whole lot of other instances in the rap game to where it's like life is starting to imitate art at a rapid rate. They don't really value their life, and it's the whole culture is just kind of like spinning right now.
I would definitely say it's a it's partially like definitely on our community in the sense that we kind of glorify this type of lifestyle. But for the most part, I don't have too much background on what he's doing, how he's living his life, so I won't say that's what he was doing. But we just gotta keep living up to the better standard, putting ourselves in better situations, moving out of the areas we know are not good for us, and just making sure we're doing our due diligence to put ourselves in good situations.
I was just saying, I pretty much agree with both of them. Definitely a mix of just getting out of that brainwashed mentality. Um, and yeah, being self aware of where you are and knowing where you've been and knowing what come with that. You play street games. What you expect. I'm not sure where the incident happened at, but I'm sure it was in the hood.
Do we have background on like where it happened?
It happened in Memphis. They was leaving out of a hotel.
I mean, like just on some what? Doing what? Doing what? No security
So that was
detail.
after the
Was the
show.
address posted? I thought I read something like that or something. I could be wrong. Well, I could be wrong. I don't know if I saw something about the address being posted or not when I was looking into it. But the streets and music or hip hop, whatever you want to call it, have definitely mixed. It been mixed, and like y'all said, it's definitely being glorified. And it's like we just see it over and over and over again. Even if it wasn't an address posted, it's like, how did somebody know that you were going to be leaving out that hotel? You know what I'm saying? So who are you keeping around you? And it's just like, I think he got money for real too. From I seen little videos of him on YouTube like showing stuff that he got. So I'm like, for you to just be moving loose, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think it's like an unnecessary points that be trying to be proved too, because okay, cool, you from the hood, you from the streets. That don't mean you can't have like little security. How can somebody get up on you like that? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just unnecessary, man.
So my take on that, I say once you get successful, just live your life. Cause just like if you keep playing street and then you try to be successful, it's not gonna ever mix. Cause you always gonna be in the mix. And look what happened. You had your brother. So I don't know. I was close in the situation to where it's like if I would have went with my brother once, I would, but luckily I'm here, so it's just like at the end of the day, you just gotta move better, move smarter, and just stay out of the way, live your life. That's all I can say on that.
Like I get a lot
Small
of time.
details. They definitely was flashing a whole bunch of money on Instagram in the hotel, in the hotel and et cetera, et cetera. The white Charger was sitting out front of the hotel. As soon as the black truck came up, pulled up, and they came out the hotel, three men came out the Charger, and red hoodie went around back, black hoodie went around front. The other one kind of stayed back by the car, and they just did their thing.
Well, this the
The
thing.
video out.
I don't even want to see it. It's a lot of variables and different aspects to this incident. But we're gonna try to stick with this one. One, Memphis is a treacherous city as is. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be on your square when you're down there. Two, y'all saying that they hit his man, but he went unharmed, right? He got grazed in the assault, right? But he
He
didn't
got shot
get,
in the leg.
but they wasn't targeting him. So the location and you know what I'm saying, the flash and then all the Instagram stuff, we can't necessarily tie it together because they didn't come for like a robbery, so to speak. That's more so like we noticed somebody was with you or somebody that was looking for his man's realized that he was with his man's locally and they made a move. You know what I'm saying? That's what that sound like to me. Cause they even said like it ain't you all right, whatever, whatever. So like that's why I said you gotta watch your company. Like that happens very easily. You might just be passing like with the young dog situation. He just came home to go get some pastries at his regular spot. Somebody spotted him, called somebody else, and then you know what I'm saying, they ran down on him. So like a lot of times it's like watching how you move, where you at, where your surroundings, and like definitely keeping watching the company you keep because you might be good out here in the streets. You doing everything you supposed to do. You staying out the way, but your folks is dirty. And you just happen to be with your folks and then you get smoked because they didn't blaze them down. You know what I'm saying? So it's variables to it.
That's a fact. This situation still segues into the next situation, man. Big U, one of LA's most iconic community leaders, is now under federal indictment after the feds, man. Jeez. But after working with the community to reduce violence for years and years and years, they say that Big U is being targeted by the feds. Others say he never left the game, while the feds say he never left the game, while others say he is just a community leader. How y'all feel about Big U being indicted? They trying to bring up the Nipsey case. They trying to say another artist, he killed one of his artists and left him on the highway or something. it's a lot of outlandish indictments and stories going on surrounding this Big U situation. How y'all feel about the LA gang culture, figures and characters like Big U's and others who may perpetuate that lifestyle or is trying to get out of that lifestyle and push peace, but yet the streets, public procession, and the police is trying to keep them there.
Well, in my opinion, first with the artist that they said he killed, right? I think they said they found like his like DNA or something under his nails. So, and then with the Nipsey thing too, like I would like to get more information about that, but I think he was definitely like still doing in the street the whole in the streets thing. I think he was the check-in dude too. Used to see videos of him on YouTube like egging on the whole check-in thing when you go to LA. So I think, the indictment is on him, you know what I'm saying? So I think he he where he supposed to be right about now, or I ain't gonna say that, but from the things that I've seen online, it looks like they got something on him.
right? And if I could piggyback just a little bit, it's like if you're involved in things like that, it can kind of show like the long term consequences of not building like that real financial background. Because though he may have been big in the space, he wouldn't have probably needed that large of connection to these type of things had he generally been building and giving those people around him a background to where they could be financially free instead of putting them in them same type of cycles.
Shit, I don't really got no take on that one.
I'm gonna try to watch my words on this one because I got a lot of family and friends that's affiliated with that lifestyle of wagging. But I can't say if he did or he didn't. So I don't know exactly what the indictment is for. I will say for like returning offenders, it's not necessarily easy to find their footing and be able to, make money or even find a place to stay. So they do end up kind of resorting to these different types of programs, being an entrepreneur in a sense. But a lot of them do these programs to where they can rehab the community that they affected or what have. And there's a pathway there for success. I just hope that they're not abusing it, or he wasn't abusing it and resulting back to old antics or extra monetary gains, because that's kind of where it sounds like, and that's where we fall short at. It's like we get an opportunity to get out of a situation, and then we go back to our old faulty ways and result to be back right where we came from. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, that's not the case. Just saying something similar with Trayon in the city. So like the more we hear these types of things, the harder it is for people like yourself to get these grants because it's going to put a black eye on these types of figures, so to speak. But Cali politics has always been crazy. Like the whole extortion thing is real. So like I said, I don't want to go too far, but like yeah, anything out there is its own set of rules, and you know may or may not have got caught up in that shit.
I'm pretty much just over here with my mouth to the floor, just hearing this is news to me. So it's not surprising though, but shit, like this is my first time hearing about Big U. So
It's sad because a lot of people are doing great things in the community, but they don't even have as much influence as somebody like him. So to be looking at him build something like that and see like in the services I'm in, it's like he's doing RICO cases and we're getting generational wealth getting built. So it's kind of hard when people aren't putting themselves out there in these spaces where they have the power to change somebody's life, such as us on this podcast. Somebody listening to this that needs this information or needs to hear somebody else talk about these viewpoints.
Yeah, the rumor with him and Nipsey been around for a while because they from the same neighborhood. So like they were saying they had bump heads because when you came home, Nipsey was kind of like ascending. So they were saying that he was kind of trying to extort Nipsey for like some big brother shit, some old neighborhood, whatever. And Nipsey wasn't rocking, and then that started a rift. And they not. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just like hearsay. But he is one of those figures who garnered the respect because he was like an OG or what have you. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope it ain't true because he had every opportunity to change the narrative of what his image was. You know what I'm saying?
Tiny
So
Lester said himself, the man who played Debo on Friday, he said himself that he depicted that character behind Big U, after
yeah,
Big U.
Big U was a bad motherfucker back in the day. You
Really
know
one
what
of
I
them
mean?
ones.
One of the layers, like I run this whole set, and everybody knows like all that Cali shit. It was like with the Crips and the Bloods, it ain't as clear as day as like just red and blue. They got different subsets all throughout the different parts of town, and they don't necessarily get along. He was like the head dude of one of the biggest, baddest sets of Crips in the whole LA area. So he had pull, like a lot of it.
And to your
Before
to
he went
Justice
in,
point of like not understanding, like y'all create financial growth, and it's people like maybe lawyers out here that has street pull, and it's gonna always be some type of gladiator sports in the streets that people respect, where people taking certain risks and living a certain life that they think is cool, but they want to partake in, but they're too scared to. That's why people love to watch the movies and the TV shows and listen to the music, but a lot of people don't want to live a life. So it's still glorified. The different risk taking and practicing financial growth and being in the streets is totally different, but the youth is still in our culture captivated by that lifestyle.
man, they said he was getting $800,000 grants yearly. When was it millions? It was like, is it 8 million or was it 800,000? One or the other. But he was banking their ass yearly. So like that's something to brag about. You know what I'm saying? And he's putting people in the neighborhood in positions because he was hiring all his homies. So they're the ones doing all this neighborhood intervention and whatnot. So like that's something that he could hang his hat on that. He ain't gotta have nobody checking in. I got the state checking in with
Culture,
clean money.
that you wanted to get. Who knows how much money niggas made off checking in?
Yeah, so it's like you
Free
gotta,
money.
but that's what I'm saying. The Cali politics different. It's like you
Free
could you
bread.
could be getting extorted by the gang because they see you getting this from the states. So they're like, oh, all right, you just got OG 100 racks for the little move. I need 100 racks too. You know what I'm saying? We about to press down on Granny.
Mm.
And now it's a cycle that he can't escape. Now he got to keep the scheme going, and it's like a never ending cycle. But that's the Cali politics. Like that whole vibe in Cali is extortion, dog. That's the language.
They got that good weather and the palm trees. They charging tax to come over there, man.
Taxes, bro. You gotta pay your taxes.
You want to be on rodeo? You want to look sweet? You want to come and have fun in the sun? You gotta pay that tax.
That Cali tax hit different, dog.
It is what it is, man. Big you, man. More power to you, brother. It's hard to feel a certain type of way about OGs like that, man, because they pave in certain type of ways to end violence interruption and reducing violence with that type of influence where a lot of brothers is taking that lead. But next is the bipartisan breakdown, man, where we focus on different focuses from the Democratic and the Republican Party. The Democratic Party, man, is back in the blender, with progressives pushing for big changes while the establishment is playing it safe. But do y'all feel like playing it safe is going to work in 2025? It seems like a lot of progressives is pulling back from different genders and identify with certain things. People like Gavin Newsom, AOC, a lot of different politicians taking out he and her and their out of their bios. Do y'all feel like them playing it safe and trying to repeal on some of the things that they feel like they lost on? Is that a good move, or they taking 100 more steps back by showing that they're not standing on business?
He, him, her. Well, you could. I
No,
mean,
you good.
so the. I mean, the subtitle. I guess that's due to his executive order or whatever. When it, my mindset is this: when it comes to politics, especially these Democrats right now, I don't take any of them serious because they could have shut the federal government down to where they could have had everybody have to come back to the table and have a real conversation about what's going on, cutting this program, and cutting this program, and cutting this funding, and all of these other things that they're doing that's illegal. Trump making these imaginary departments that's not real and appointing people that haven't been appointed by the people. Oh, none of this stuff is legal. And the Democrats could have put a stop to it by shutting the government down. But they didn't want to do that. So they're playing nice. So that lets me know that they're not, the spine isn't there at this particular point. So anything they say or do at this point, to me, is I don't take it seriously. We are going to be in very different times moving forward. I implore everybody to get their affairs in order and hunker down for the long haul because we're only like less than 90 days into this current administration. We got 3 years, 3 to 4 more years to go. So the Democrats got a lot of work to do before they gain the faith of the people. But that's just my hot take. They change whatever title they want to.
I would definitely say it's like it's hard to kind of have this viewpoint about one the progressive side. Like some things are going to be surface level, such as like he, her, they. It's like we know that they're weak. They're trying to kind of cater to people to just win their party over. But some things like do have a deeper impact, such as how like the divide over government assistance, right? Some people feel as if we need it. Some people feel as if we don't. And you have to look at it like, okay, government assistance is good for us, but what are we doing to take it into our own hands? Because at the end of the day, whether or not we have government assistance or not, I want to live a good life. I can't say that for everybody, but what does it take to build that good life? And then as far as like taxes and things like that, it's just more so instead of like just raising taxes, be aware of how taxes work. Most people they pay taxes, they don't even know what their taxes are being paid on. If they have a business, they're not usually too aware of it. So just being more aware as a people.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass on this one because like Buckwheat said, I can't take any of it serious. It's beyond me.
So my take on that is basically like as long as you guys, you know, your stuff in order as people, then I feel as though you know you'll be okay. But at the end of the day, at the same time, I feel it's like the black community where we all you know like some people not lost, but some people that are lost. I feel it's like you know we should start programming our kids to want to start a business like how our mothers and fathers should have told us when we was growing up. So it's like I kind of want to like that's what I want to like do for mine. Like so it's like with the Democrat and the Republican, I'm kind of not even focused on that because at the end of the day, we still gotta live our own life. You know, they can't really help us. Only thing they can do is just put stuff in order. But as long as we put stuff in order within our life, everything with going on, it shouldn't phase us as long as we got our docs in order. That's all I gotta say on that.
I agree with you, Trey.
Man, it's a lot of stuff they doing that's going to affect a lot of everybody, right? So like the Social Security, the Medicare stuff, that's going to affect our elders and everybody that's on Section 8 in the hood that depend on vouchers and Medicare and all that kind of stuff. That's a domino effect. It's definitely going to affect everybody. Um, and it's going to be an uneasy state across the whole country because it's different things. It's affecting different people. Black people tend to always be struggling, so we kind of like, oh, it ain't gonna affect us. We'll be all right. But it's still gonna affect us in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But the the the, the Republicans are doing what they want to do right now, and they're showing the world that how much power a president truly can wield, so to speak. So it's making the Democrats look even worse because they've had this power at multiple points in history, and they've never done anything as bold. You see what I'm saying? And even now, the way the Constitution and everything is written, they have the power to stop what he's doing, and they're still not doing it. So that's even further losing the faith of their following, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? That's going to create chaos all across the country because now everybody's like, what do I do? What's going to happen? You know what I mean?
And I always get an analogy to something you said, Trey. That I kind of disagree with you, brother. I can't lie. We just make sure you all right and everything will be all right. I always give the analogy about driving on the highway. You can drive as good as you want to drive until somebody swerve in your lane. It's just a reality factor that we don't live in the world by ourselves. There's a lot of moving parts going on. There's people at the NBA that's taking care of license, and you know what I'm saying. You have people have landlords. This Pepco got to come in and do stuff with your electric. It ain't no you just make sure you all right. There's so many moving pieces that's controlled by other people that you got to get yourself aware about it and understand what's going on. And in my opinion, dictate certain situations that's going to dictate the quality of your life. So if I have a neighbor that's doing something that's dictating the quality of my life, I'm not gonna just be like, man, as long as we doing what we got going on, somebody gonna figure it out with them. Nah, I'm gonna go figure it out with them. What's up with y'all? And I ain't saying it gotta be aggressive, but you have to understand what's going on a bit. Then when somebody get killed for domestic violence in your building and everything going on, then there's so many drastic things that go on if we just mind our business all the time. And I think that's a part of our issue in our culture. I think we all minding our business. I think we don't think some of these things are as serious as they are, and the decisions that some of us make affects a lot of us. And I think that's a real thing. So I always get that highway analogy because it don't matter how good you drive on the highway, you always got to drive for all of the other drivers on the road. That's how I feel
Yeah,
about politics.
yeah. That's a lot of moving pieces, man. So I really implore everybody at this point in the game to get really into their local politics because the sentiment seems to be that they're going to cut off all federal assistance, or at least attempt to, right? They're going to remove the feds from the support of all individual state level shenanigans. And what your state has in, like who your representative is and what their narrative is going to directly affect how your uh, quality of living is going to be moving forward for the next few years. If all of this goes through, you know what I'm saying? If your state don't have the funding for the program that you depend on, your life is going to be a little rough because they're not going to have that federal assistance that was safety net, so to speak.
The grocery
Education,
store is gonna be rough. The school's gonna be rough. The
yeah,
hospital's gonna be rough. Like we gotta wisen up and pay attention to some of these institutions that's in our community and just get a little bit more hip about economics. You know what I'm saying? And how important it is in our community, man. How we really gotta change our mindset of man, that shit ain't got nothing to do with us, man. Shit me.
yeah. This is really going to force people to start building community again, especially if that Department of Education situation go through, because that's going to wipe out public schools. Because the public schools get their funding from the state, but the state gets their funding from the feds. So if the feds ain't giving them the funding no more, a bad public school is going to be that much worse. You know what I'm saying? And then the prices of charter schools and private schools are going to go up because they want to keep the riffraff out so that the quality of their situation stays the same. That's a domino effect. That shit's going to affect everybody. So like getting back into the community building aspect, homeschooling your kids. We homeschool our youngest. We tried to send him to school this year, and we just wasn't getting the vibe. Like it felt like he was regressing when we went to kindergarten. So we pulled him out, and we've been homeschooling him ever since. Our oldest, it took a little bit, well, our middle kids, it took a little bit of time for them to go back to school after COVID because they got used to the homeschooling and we're actually accomplishing a little bit more. So we got to get back into these old school mind frames of like just building community and really actually taking care of home.
And I think the crab plug situation was an example of that, man. We don't even want to serve, we don't want to serve ourselves. We don't even want to give ourselves grace. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it get bad all the way around the board. Now, the Republican focus. Republicans keep on promising to make government more efficient, but their recent budget cuts are hitting real people. Are these smart moves, or is this political overreach?
I won't dive too deep into it, but it's going to affect people, like you just said. I like that analogy you used as far as, if you're driving on the highway, you got to drive with somebody else. Because even on my way here, somebody swerved into my lane, so it hit close, right? So I'm just like, man, if they're going to be cutting budgets for like Medicare, SNAP, things like that, it's going to definitely have a big effect on people. But I don't think it's about not worrying about what's going on in somebody else's house as far as political mindset goes, but being in control of what's going on in your house as far as financial goals. Because if you're educated and you know what to do, at the end of the day, it's not much the government can really take away from you. And no politician can really do that.
They could take a lot if they really want to. Um, but let's go back to the what we was just saying as far as like they're cutting all of these different things. Um, I feel like it's like confiscating funds. So they're taking funds out of one thing to funnel it somewhere else. Like the contract Elon got, for instance, with the he's trying to get for the he got a bunch of contracts, but a lot of contracts they're cutting and programs they're cutting, that money's still gonna go somewhere. So they're just lining their pockets and their own individual interests with that budget that they're taking from the state level programs or whatever you have. But yeah, man, like we gotta just put pressure on our local appointed officials to make sure that we are okay within our own municipalities because shit gonna get tight. Like this is just the beginning. We're only in like month 3. So yeah.
So I don't really got no take on that one.
I'm just still in agreement. Little to no comment.
Talking about the Republicans and Trump and all of these budget cuts, how it's
Man,
affecting people.
motherfucker, man, y'all ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say. See, it look ugly. It look ugly. This is what I'm gonna say. It look ugly just like the last time, but then he gonna come with a kick in effect. Like, all right, for instance, that DIE, whatever it was called, everybody that's tripping off of it don't even know where the money was going to. That was the whole point. Cut it. Because wherever it was for, the money wasn't going there. So he cut it. Now, the people that fought for you to even have the DIE, they don't even know that the money wasn't even going there. So they having an uproar. You gotta let the man work. Let him cook what they say. Let him cook, man. Know something. That's all I got.
I know where the money going is going to his buddies, man.
Right.
The DEI was more so like removing the fact that you could just have it's like an inclusion scenario. It's like another word for affirmative action, but not necessarily the same thing. Whereas you couldn't just hire somebody because they was your friend. It had to be qualified. It had to be inclusive to all possibilities, right? But
Right.
realistically, I was put in place to help um, white people, Caucasians, get some of the positions that was going to minorities because of affirmative action. So it was like a reverse affirmative action,
You
right?
feel me?
But by stripping it down and trying to strip everything to revert back to the original way it was, where it's like I'm gonna hire my man. He ain't gotta have no qualifications. We're gonna rewrite the rules so that we ain't gotta hire none of y'all.
I
Like
get what
that's
you're
the
saying.
eventual play,
Yeah,
but
I
we
get what
gotta
you.
break everything down to rewrite it the way we want it to.
Right.
And most of the stuff he's doing is illegal. Like it's not something that he can functionally do. But because he's doing so much of like this is Trump's playbook. I'm gonna
Right.
do so much stuff that y'all can't really pay attention to what I'm doing. And by the time you clean up one mess, I'd have made five more messes. And by the time you clean up those five messes, I'd have got what I'm really trying to get done behind the scene. So just mass confusion and chaos, keep everybody guessing on their heels to where they can never really settle to address an issue specific.
For sure. I
You know
feel
what I'm
like
saying?
you're right. I feel like America was already doing that though. You know what I'm saying? Mixing us up over here. Oh yeah, Brittany Griner. The whole time some shit over here going on. You know what I'm saying? Like it always been like that. He just, I feel like he mastered it. He gonna do it and make people benefit off of it. I feel like when they was doing it, only they benefited. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that's the secret society of the real Americans who run America. You know what I'm saying? I
Do
just feel
y'all
like,
think this is his version of draining the swamp?
yeah, I feel like I ain't saying it's like all on our side, but I feel like it's more benefit in it for us than we think it is.
It's benefit for it's going to create two separate classes. We got three classes now. We
Right,
got you got the the higher ups, you got the middle class, and you got the poverty level. It's
right,
going to create a separation where it's just the rich and the poor. There's no more middle class.
right, right.
Of that's one side of it. The other side of it is he's trying to bring back a lot of industries to America that we've given away over time
Right.
based on a lot of variables though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
A lot of this stuff like manufacturing is in other countries because it's cheaper to manufacture in other companies. You can't get cheap labor in America because we
for
got
sure,
labor law shit like that, right?
for sure.
So you talking about bringing manufacturing labs back to America, you got to pay these motherfuckers $25 an hour to make chips for an iPhone. How much is the iPhone gonna cost now?
Yeah,
And then how long is it going to take to build that factory to get all of that stuff even over here? This isn't
that's
stuff
true.
that's going to happen overnight. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So it's like it's a political play to like squeeze trade relations and
Uh huh.
like the shift of power, so to speak, within the world's landscape. But every president that goes in office always does things that's going to line his interests.
Yeah.
That's why we had the war in Iraq the second time with Baby Butch, because all of his companies were oil digging companies and they
Fact,
benefited from building all of those tunnels that they were trying to get the land and shit for. Every
facts,
president does the same shit.
facts, facts.
Nobody's any different. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with everything you say. You know something, but with the apply what you said with the rich and the poor, I agree with that, right? But I feel like you only the I feel like they used to pick who's gonna be poor at first. You get what I mean? Like you black niggas about to be poor. You know what I'm saying? We about to be rich. At this point, it's gonna be whoever ain't working, you gonna be poor. You know what I'm saying? You ain't applying yourself. You ain't want no business. You want to sit there and get government. You the one gonna be poor. Everybody else that want to get some money is opportunity. That's basically what I feel like. Just my opinion.
I agree with that because that's one thing I will say about Trump. I don't believe Trump is racist. I truly do not believe he's racist. I
No.
think he's classist.
Yeah.
He don't fuck with bum shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't
That's what
care
it
if you're
is.
black, brown, purple,
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
white, yellow,
Yeah.
beige. I don't really care. If you're gonna get money with me, I'm rocking with you.
Right.
That is very much his ideology, but it's gonna be more brown and black people affected by this shit than anybody else.
He don't
Right.
There'll
under,
be a
he don't identify with mental health. And he don't you know what I'm saying? He don't identify with, you know what I'm saying, not
Yeah.
being unmotivated.
Yeah.
He don't
Yeah.
identify with people that's on welfare and on
Yeah.
public assistance. And
Yeah.
he looking at him like, hey, why you not just get up every morning and go do something?
I
Yeah.
mean, he was a slumlord, so he's not going to identify with them. I don't necessarily identify. I don't aspire to
Yeah.
be on welfare and all that shit. I think there does need to be some guardrails. People need to be,
Yeah. Yeah. I was
you know
about to
what I'm
say
saying?
that. I was about to
I
say
do,
that.
but rich people abuse the system way more than anybody that's impoverished.
Facts.
These motherfuckers don't pay taxes. They stealing money left and right, and they bleeding any dime that they can get from anybody. So
These motherfuckers
who are
find a
they
way to
to
get
say?
food stamps.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's who are they to say that somebody else who doesn't have opportunities or you know
Right.
resources
Right.
needs to work harder when all they do is work harder on how to not work harder.
Facts. 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 I get that. And I feel like I don't think he gonna strip all of it. This is just my opinion. I just feel like he gonna put guardrails up. And it's like if you need that push with the welfare and the food stamps, he got it for you. But guess what? You gonna put some footwork while you getting this shit. You not just about to be sitting around for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Getting tariff and then now, you know what I'm saying? You ain't applying yourself. This is I think it caused our people to be enabled and be lazy even more than what we already were. You get what I mean?
Yeah, the
To the
Randy,
Democratic Party
we
definitely
talking
did
about
that.
the budget cuts, Randy,
Mm.
uh, and how it's affecting our culture, and Trump version of draining the swamp, and how the panel feels about the budget cuts and what's going on.
Excellent. How y'all doing, Peace Kings?
good. So
So I can chime in really quick about the budget cuts because I think it definitely impacts our communities in more ways than we can even imagine. I think more so than ever is up to our community to figure out what we could do to protect our own selves from the budget cut. We got to stop depending on government assistance and handouts and figure out how to invest back into our own communities. For example, on April the 5th, I'm hosting a farmers market where I'm bringing Black businesses, Black farmers to Largo, Maryland,
okay.
to invest in our own selves, invest in
See?
our own people, providing opportunities for each other, and then advocating. So one thing we do need as far as the budget cut, when we think about budget cuts, is that we need advocates that are out there, that are speaking, that are going to the county council, participating in these local decisions, participating in the local civic association. If you're a part of a civic association, whatever it is, we just need to start galvanizing and
Yeah.
figuring out how to do for ourselves. We've done it before. This isn't new for us. We have it running through our veins, through our DNAs. We have entrepreneurs, investors, inventors, everything. We have everything we need. We just
Right.
need to tap in. And now is the time to tap in.
He said it best. That's basically what I was saying in other words. You know what I mean? Like the welfare is there, but I ain't gonna say it's not needed. But that shit, Jai, like been enabling us as a people. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, through this pandemic and so on, and even before that, we seen what we could do as businesses, bro. We don't need that. We don't need that. We men and we can carry teams. We did it. You know what I'm saying? Me and five, we did carry families. You know what I'm saying? And then I know you brothers could. If we put it together and come together, bro, it ain't gonna be as hard, bro. It's
Uh,
baby steps though. You know what I'm saying?
we have to ditch the crab in the barrel mentality. You know what I'm saying? We aren't each other's competition.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? We are each other's source for capacity building. Like I cannot do this alone. You know what I'm saying?
For
I
sure.
might have a product that's similar to my brother to the left, but at the same time, we all should be thinking about what is our niche market. We all have a niche market. We all have our own lane that we swimming in, driving in. Nobody's in our lane. Nobody can do what we do. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's just time for us to tap in to our God-given talents and abilities.
I agree. Mashallah. Alhamdulillah. I agree.
That's a fact. Now it's the Sice report, man. DC violence interrupted charged in Morgan State murder. This one hits hard. A violence interrupter, someone hired to stop gun violence, has been charged in killing at Morgan State of a Morgan State College attendee that used to be a basketball player. What does this say about vetting, credibility, and public trust with the violence interrupters, with the programs, especially with the segue we just spoke about with Trump?
I feel like I feel like we were saying earlier, like we be doing it. We got the advocates, we got the people that stop the violence and all that. But I'm gonna be honest, the people that stopping the violence, let's say majority of them, we know this. They still half in, half out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or they ain't always give it up. You see what I'm saying? And that can affect you when you like even with my journey on Islam, like I gotta I gotta knock off all the bad stuff that I used to do that I know ain't right if I'm going to try to get the youth or anyone to follow me. You get what I mean? So that's where that come from, because ain't no way you a violent stopper and you doing that. Like, come on, bro. Like, you obviously ain't mature in a certain level where that's what that position is for. You know what I'm saying? It can't even go there. That's my take.
Yeah, I think that, we all have a bit of light and dark. We are human in nature. And so a part of that comes with a level of responsibility. And like my brother just said, a level of responsibility, a level of maturity to level up, understand. We don't have to embrace the darkness, but we have to understand that we all have the potential. A lot of us are participating, or we become advocates because we are so close, or we are so drawn to whatever we're advocating for. For example, I'm a mental health advocate. Not a mental health advocate because I haven't had experience with mental health. I actually have had experience with mental health. I've actually have had experience with mental health crises. So I understand what it's like to be in that position. And so I think it's the same thing where, we have certain proclivities, right? And in those proclivities, we can be drawn, but it's up to us to be solid, strong in our thinking and our understanding of who we are, and strong in our understanding of our purpose and our drive, so that we don't allow the dark to overshadow the light, because we come with it both. It's the yin and the yang. So I think it's all a balance, and it's figuring out, understanding self, taking time to pray, meditate, and just seek the light.
Oh, I hate to comment on stuff without like full context and so developing story. Um, but on a just looking at it from an outside glance, hopefully he wasn't like the I don't know, man. Like I'm saying, like it could be a situation where he was approached by somebody that he might have had an incident with, or intervened in something. Or it could just be completely a scenario where he was half in, half out. Like my man said, some of those guys, they are returning citizens. They start these programs, don't necessarily um have a lot of options. So they look at it like it's a hustle and they're not really taking it seriously. That's not all of them, but that seems to be like a recurring narrative. And if you're not truly dedicated to what you're putting out there, you'll end up in these kind of situations. So hopefully that wasn't the case for him, and we'll see what else comes from the story, I guess, as it develops. I'm not really overly familiar with it, but it sounds like one of those half in, half out scenarios.
I like your response too, Weeks. I like that because I probably sounded a little disingenuous how I came. Like that's how I was really supposed to come at the situation. Like I ain't really trying to put whoever did it down. Like you said, it could have been like bruh said it, Randy. You know what I'm saying? Like it could have been a situation where he had to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm speaking in general, like you said, like we know what's going on. Like most of them, 60 to 70%, they really turn citizens and they try to change their life, but they really, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they ain't got a lot of options.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's starting to seem more and more, which I hope isn't the case. Why I said I don't want this to become like a black eye on
right,
returning citizens
right.
coming home trying to be violence interrupters or community leaders in their neighborhoods. Like, because it's a lot of people that's actually doing that full heartedly. It's not intentional shenanigans. So I don't want this to be like the narrative that overtakes all of them and overshadows them. But yeah, we got bad apples everywhere. So hopefully we can shake the bad apple so that we can move forward as a community and we don't have these type of stories. But every now and then you'll have these half in, half out scenarios. Hopefully this isn't one of those, and we'll find out. but it does happen. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe I'm living in one of them twilight zones where you ever heard about like when you buy the car, once you buy a car, you see him everywhere once you driving. I know I always got
Yeah,
car
yeah,
analogies.
yeah.
But tell me I ain't lying about that one. Like, once you buy a
As
car,
soon as you
somebody that got
lose
a
a
car,
jump,
like
like
them joints is everywhere.
Jokes
Now,
be
as
popping.
soon as you lose a jump,
I don't know if I'm in a twilight zone or maybe
No,
I
that's
just was
how it be.
unfamiliar. But I've been a violence interrupter probably about 6 months, man, about 8 months. And soon as I hop in the game, I'm talking about money laundering, murder, embezzlement. Like, it's like, man, I'm about to
Yeah,
try to get in the NBA.
yeah. But like bruh said, that we need it though. I don't want this to block out chance because I'm one of the returning citizens. You know what I'm saying? And it gave me a good opportunity. This is a great thing. You know what I'm saying? But we know this can. What's up, boom? This can mess opportunities up like stuff before. You know what I'm saying?
And it was in a club on 8th Street where the incident happened. And
Damn.
yeah, see that
What
anything can
happened?
happen.
What I missed? I just walked in.
violence interrupted killed a Morgan State promising basketball athlete back in 2021. He's finally getting indicted for it, him and somebody else. And
Oh, so it's an old body.
yeah, it's an
So
old
it's
one in the club.
something that he caught before he even turned his narrative around.
Yeah. So now,
And they
now,
just
see, I
put
ain't
up
even
with him.
catch that.
I don't even know if
Yeah.
the nerve was turning around, if he was still violence and interrupting at the time, but
Oh, what?
that
Oh,
would
he
make
was
have a lot
We
of
need to
context
know
though.
that. Yeah.
You
so
said
he was a
who?
violence interrupter at the time, got into an incident that didn't surface allegedly, and now it's coming back to, you know,
So let me
haunt him.
ask y'all, does it matter? Does it
What you
matter?
mean?
What would be the difference between him being a violence interrupter and it happened and him just being a returning citizen, then turning violence interrupter?
It would give context to his character.
Yeah.
So like that would let me know if
I
he
agree.
was if he came into this violence interrupter scenario on some, I'm just trying to get some, I'm trying to work the system, or I'm actually dedicated to it. You know what I'm saying? So
Because my comment was like that, basically like a person that's dedicated to it, but he kind of haven't. So that's why it would have mattered to me, because then I had to take that whole comment back. You know what I mean? If he wasn't violence interrupted.
but it could have been a yeah, like God ain't done with me yet type situation. So like he out in the club, he a little inebriated, somebody bump into him or whatever the case was, and go left, and then boom, he get away with it. He might have, I don't know. That's just it's more context. So
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
said, that sounds like a half in, half out type of scenario. Now that you say that, it sounds like a half in, half out.
And violence interrupters are also getting killed by the
For sure.
police
We saying that
outside
Cray
of
Pop was one of them.
Jaspers. Like is that's also happening. So
Well, that's another thing. Somebody said on I heard somewhere else when the guy in DC had got killed by the police. He was a violence interrupter. Somebody had mentioned that like the
The
police
Justin
are
dude.
not necessarily fond of the violence interrupters coming in and basically doing their job better than them, and that they have it's,
But
it's a it's a
I got a
contentious
different view on
relationship.
that.
Is there any truth to that?
I got a
Do
different
y'all
view on
believe
that
that?
whole situation though.
What? Any
Say what,
truth to
Boom?
what?
I said I have a different view on that whole situation, and a lot of people are mad at me about it.
which view?
What you
About
Which
got?
what?
situation?
The Justin one?
About Justin.
Yeah. What you
What's your
say?
view on it?
So if we can only so with that whole situation, you can only speak on facts, right? And the fact is, he had a handgun. The fact is, the gun was in his hand. The fact is, he picked up the gun when they told him to put it down. It's all on camera.
You left out some other facts though too, right?
Yeah.
I
You
know
left
that
out
he
the
was
other
asleep.
fact that nah,
He was
don't
asleep.
let's not leave out facts though, brother.
He was asleep.
Facts is they had him outnumbered, right?
Don't
That's a
matter.
fact. And
Don't
no,
matter.
no, it does matter. Just hear
It
me
don't
out. The
matter.
fact is they had him outnumbered. Another fact, they are trained to do these things, to
They're
operate
trained
the
to
weapon,
kill,
Allegedly.
bro.
to
They
de-escalate
allegedly.
situations,
They're
bro.
trained to
They
kill.
train to de-escalate situations too.
No, they're not.
Another one, when they approached him, They all could witness that he was what? Inebriated. Whether
No,
they unconscious, bro. They
Right.
they
No,
wait.
no.
They
picked
waited
up the
to the
gun.
nigga for the nigga to wake up, bro.
He
Like,
woke
Yeah,
like
up.
no,
where
Wait,
you
that,
know
that's
wait,
a
those
fact,
facts?
wait.
boom.
Why
Now,
you
man
leaving out
pulled up
those
on him
facts?
before the police even came. He was drunk, sleep in the fucking
He
drive-through.
woke up and
No, I
picked
want you
up
to
the
get no.
gun.
I just want to get those extra facts, and then I want you to shoot your shit. Like shoot your shit
He
now.
Yeah,
I
woke
yeah,
just,
up.
yeah, yeah.
but I want
He
to keep
slept.
it,
Yes, he was asleep. I get all
keep
of
it a
that.
little, keep it a
I
Right,
get
little
all of
honest.
that. I get all of that. I get
right.
all of what you're saying. The
Okay,
fact is,
it's for
when
the
he
people.
woke up, he picked up the gun. That's fact.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
That's it.
All
That's
right,
Well,
it,
so
bro.
look
scary
though.
cop gonna shoot first anyway. So I'm
This
just
what I
trying.
want.
All right, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
But
My
that's
bad,
it.
Weeks. Look, I was just gonna say this one thing on the fact that what you said, Bone. Like, you said, nah, they had to do this because they trained to kill. That's the thing. As citizens, we don't know that. We think they trained to protect and
Hell no.
de-escalate.
Hell no.
But no, no, no. Listen, I'm not saying you're not
I know what
right.
you're saying. I'm agreeing with you.
I'm
agreeing.
saying, yeah, I'm saying, nigga, if that's what the citizens and the people thought that people police were trained to do, nigga, we ain't
Right.
calling them. You know what I'm saying? What the hell? So we thinking nigga they come and protect. But like you
Mm-hmm.
said, they come to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So that
That's
you
the
just
automatically
had
problem.
make
you
you
just
wrong
stated
off the
right.
break.
And that's the problem.
Did you finish your tape? You stated those facts, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, my bad, Boone, and
I just
Weeks
wanted
too.
to set
Weeks
up
No,
my
another
no.
fault.
premise.
I'm
So
agreeing with you. I'm
are they
100%
That
right?
was
agreeing
a
with you.
mistake.
So
Is
like
that justified?
what?
You saying the
That
killing is justified?
and
He's saying it with those
due
types
to
of
police
facts.
standards, due to American and police standards with law, of course.
Yeah, he's saying with those facts in play, a scary police officer was going to shoot first, either
For
way.
sure.
But you
Right.
said your opinion was unpopular. So is your opinion that is justified killing?
That's what Five saying. Is
By
that like
law.
your
By
You try
law.
you trying to
I'm
mamacita
not getting
senor
anything.
right now.
I can
You
only
said
go
I
by
have a
law.
very unpopular
No,
take,
I can
right?
only go by law. If you're talking about street law, that's different. If you're
No,
talking about
ain't no
law
street
of
law. It's
book,
your is I'm asking your take, your
was it
opinion. We
justified?
all separate individuals.
Was it justified?
Yes, that's all I'm
Sure.
asking you.
that's what he
Yeah.
asking.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I'm asking, brother. Why I gotta
That's
squeeze
it.
that?
No,
Yeah.
I'm
That's what
saying
I'm saying.
I said that.
Your hot take is that it was a justified killing.
And that's
I said that in the
arguable.
beginning.
That's
I said that in
Now
the
arguable
I
beginning.
because, like you said, in the situation, you're not the police, bro. Them niggas, you know what
now
I'm saying? Nigga wake up and just straight whip like you, like ho, like scary nigga gonna bust you, like period.
100%.
All right, so look. Do y'all believe that the police be having a contentious relationship with these violence interrupters?
We'll say it again.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't deep in that. That's a great take though, because it does make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Do they have a relationship
But I
with the
will also
violence
want to know if
interrupters?
Do they
everybody on
have
the panel
like
feel like that was a justified shooting.
nah? Because they had a lot more resources to try doing various different things. They could have busted the glass, and then if he started shooting, then they could have lit the car up. They could have did a lot of shit. Could have
Right,
honked the horn. They could have, you know what I'm saying?
right.
They could have used the intercom and did the whole SWAT team thing. They could have
Yeah.
did a whole bunch of shit.
They could have shielded up around him, and as soon as he walk over there, what you gonna do? Hit the shield?
I mean, bullets don't have a name, so I don't. I get them not want to take a chance of him just waking up on this boom, 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 because you don't know where them joints gonna fly. But
Yeah.
I mean, like he said, you're supposed to go above and beyond before you use deadly force. So you using deadly force to like off the break.
Yeah.
To me, it's unjustified. I don't really care how you spin it.
Yeah.
You was discombobulated, drunk, and you fell asleep in Southeast. Not that you would. You got some sense. But if you did, and you sleep trying to, get some
So,
rest so you don't crash out, you got your
so
pistol in your lap, and somebody wake you up all abruptly, what's your reaction gonna be?
right,
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
right.
Or you gonna respond?
I feel like they could have did enough with tasers. Same way the bullets came out, the taser could have hit his ass. Bop,
But the windows was up
neutralized.
though. How
Huh?
can they tase him with the windows up?
You smash the window and taser.
Right.
I'm
Ain't
not
happening.
taking that risk.
Slim Jim. Nigga, they
I'm
done
not
broken out
taking that
cars
risk.
plenty of time taking
But I
shit. Like,
would,
nigga, they know how to
I
get in there.
would have like a SWAT approach to where it's just like, if my first response, I would have bullhorned his ass. You know what I'm saying? I'd have bullhorned the shit out of his ass until he woke up, kept honking the horn,
Right.
had all types of lights flashing. So as soon as he woke up, all he seen was berries and cherries, and he'd have just been like, oh shit. And then I'd
Can
have
I
tried to talk him out the car. That
can
would
I
have
put
been me.
another aspect to it? This another fact that I know of because I know a person that pulled up on him personally, seen him sleep in the drive-through, didn't even know it was him because they know each other. And just was like, damn, nigga, sleep in the drive-through. And then the feds came. So when the feds came, they seen the gun on his lap when he was asleep the whole time.
But that's even more rounds for them to like.
That's what I mean. So they could have
As soon as
prepared.
they see a pistol, they're gonna take the extreme end of the response.
That's why they was
They
surrounded the
feel like,
car like that.
yeah, they're gonna
Right.
think it's a off bucks. That's why I'm saying, like, do y'all believe there was a contentious relationship with the officers in that area to where it's
Oh
Yeah.
like,
no, I don't
It's
believe that.
believable. Nah,
I
look,
don't believe
bro.
that.
He from Chop, bro.
I don't
They
believe
was
that.
right down the street, bro. That ain't like far fetched. You feel me?
Right, but I did what you're saying. Like the cops do know each other. I know the cops do know the people of the street. I do know that. But
Right.
I'm not going to say
Especially
that
in
they
DC.
actually plotted on him at that moment. I'm not going to say that because at the end of the day, lacking is lacking. And if you fall asleep at the drive-through, I mean,
yeah,
this is why people get mad at me when I talk about this situation because it's you know what I'm saying.
I ain't hear Randy, Wink, and Trey whether y'all feel like that's justified.
Did the cop go to jail?
no, they didn't even press charges. They said it
No,
was justified.
no, they
Because
said
they saw
he
the
ain't
gun
even get
fall.
suspended, bro.
Because
They
they saw
said
the
it was
gun fall.
justified. But
He got,
I
I
mean,
think he got paid with leave and all that shit on the
Mm-hmm.
process.
no, he didn't do. I don't want to speak ill of the dead or what have you. It wasn't a good situation that he put himself in.
But
But I don't know what he was thinking about. He might have been like lit and
I
was
don't
trying to
either.
like not crash the car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Having the
maybe
pistol
like you
out was a
said,
little
maybe he was
bit
trying to sober
risque,
up or
but then
something.
again, it is southeast, so it's like maybe I need to have the pistol out so motherfuckers know not to try rob. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
feel like it
don't know.
was that.
I
He
will say
coming
though,
from the streets, bro. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas was in the streets, bro. You know what I'm saying? So he got it for that. But I feel like
I
he probably was
understand.
lit and he was hungry as shit and he just fell
right?
asleep in the midst of it. You know what I'm saying?
He tried to sober
I,
up. He was trying to sober up.
we
That's
just gotta be more careful, man. We gotta be careful out here. Can't get home.
but you know what's even crazy is that CCW law shit. A lot of these cops are scared because a lot of us can conceal carry now. So when you come up on these niggas, they used to you being a street nigga. They're not used to these niggas being legit. So when you come up and you legit, the first thing they thinking is you not. You know what I'm saying? So like, only reason why I say is because I just got pulled over on Marlboro Pike like 2 weeks ago, and they pulled every gun that they had out on me because they found my gun. But I'm legit. You know what I'm saying? But I
Now,
know
to
for
your
him he
point,
wasn't.
what
But
if
I'm not saying
Justin
that that
was
has anything to do
legit,
with this
bro?
case. I'm not saying that that has anything to do with this case. What I'm
No,
saying
I'm
is,
saying, what if he was legit? Y'all think?
I don't think it would have mattered.
I don't think it would
I
have
don't
Me
mattered
think it
either.
after
would have mattered.
I
I
don't
don't
think it
think
would
it
have
would have
mattered.
mattered either. But
him being
it would have mattered.
inebriated because he was carrying it the wrong way.
I don't think it would have mattered. The reason why I say it wouldn't have mattered because for one, if you have a concealed carry weapon license, that means that you went through the classes. You know that you cannot drink and drive. You can't smoke and drive, and you know that when you drive around, the gun has to be concealed even if in the car. So
Right.
there's laws and standards. So that means that he broke every rule if he was
He sleep as soon as he sleep with it in his person,
right,
Yeah,
invisible sight. He wrong. Okay.
hundred
yeah,
percent. And you can't even smoke and then get in the car with a gun. You can't even
Right.
yeah,
like you can't
Right.
smoke and have a
right.
gun on you.
Nope.
Nope,
Nope. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
nope.
So
That this is why he getting away with the shit now.
right.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what I'm saying?
So
So
in the in
even if he was legit, he was drunk.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, he's intoxicated.
So is
You
y'all
But
know,
for
man.
abolishing guns or gun education for our
say what?
culture specifically? our
Say
culture
again.
specifically, should we abolish
Nah,
guns
man.
or should we
Mm.
push more gun education?
Education, gun
Oh,
education.
education, of
Definitely
course.
education all
Gun
day,
Education,
education.
bro.
all day.
Education.
I
Education. Let me tell
think
you the reason why. The white people not
Take
getting
your
rid of their
kids to
guns.
the range. Go get you go get your license if you allowed to. All of that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
The
You don't
white
even
boys
need
not
a
getting rid of
license to
theirs.
have a shotgun or a rifle in certain states, at least in Maryland,
Huh?
Virginia. I don't know what DC is, but like, yeah, practice,
I
carry, and educate for sure.
educate,
well,
bro.
that I think that goes back to our initial conversation where we were saying ain't nobody coming to save us but us. Ain't nobody
Right,
coming to protect us but us. So we have
right.
to do what we know we've always done, right? We got to be more strategic. We got to be two steps ahead, because what we know legally, what they're trying to do federally is, give police immunity, right? So they're going to be able to, like the Wild Wild West, do things and not have any type of repercussions behind it. So we have to think two steps ahead of what might come. And I think gun training education, along with mental health training and education, understanding the mental health impact, and going back to, this brother waking up out of his sleep. I mean, just from a physiological perspective, you wake up before your brain wake up, right? And so you're going to
Right.
wake up and you just going to just be discombobulated. That's just the human physiological side of things. And I think if, our law enforcement was better trained on how to deal with just the characteristics of being human, maybe they would approach things differently. But, I don't think that's going to happen with all the
Let me tell
budget
you,
cuts we have in
can I
place.
tell you about? Can I tell you my honest opinion on the police force? I believe the police force should only police the communities that they were raised in. I mean, the reason why I say this is because you'll have somebody patrolling Southeast that's an Asian dude that you know for a fact don't know shit about us. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's Asian, he don't know us, but I'm saying it's always like some dude from Hartford, Virginia, or some dude
I'm with you.
from,
I'm with you.
you know what I'm saying? So they don't know what we really go through. So like, for
Yeah,
instance, right? A dude from Bowie or a dude from the suburbs could come up on somebody that's off PCP. We know because we've been around it. He's no threat to nobody but himself. But the cop that's from the other side that doesn't know this doesn't know.
For sure.
So
I
he's
don't know
gonna
about that one, brother.
But
no. But you know what? No. But what I'm
I
saying is
can't agree with a nigga
no.
off
What I'm
PCP
saying is
only
what
a
I'm
threat to
saying is
himself.
what I'm saying is we know our neighborhood. So we
I know
know
what he
how we
trying to
know that
say.
one dude.
Now I know where you're getting to, so let me ask you this. So are we saying we should produce some type of DEI nepotism in our own areas, in our own communities, to where we should be the police officers in our own communities?
It starts with
we
the
should
community
be
first.
we should be policing our communities anyway,
Yeah,
first and foremost.
I agree
But
on that.
but on
And reason
And
top
we
of
why
talk
I
that,
about
agree,
being police officers, or we talking about what we
no,
already do
Not
with
we
gangs?
should
ourselves.
have both. We should be policing our own communities, holding our own communities accountable, right? And then we can have the police support to check in to say like, all right, everything cool. Y'all need any backup? All right, good.
right, right.
But what he's saying
Right.
is police should basically be stationed in areas that they come from. So there's an understanding and there's a some form of camaraderie there. 'Cause if you send
You
somebody
don't
from
think that
way out the
that a
way,
heighten chance of foul play?
Say again.
it's gonna be foul play either way.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yes.
Only why I agree with Weeks, right? Because that's what they do in Islamic Sharia law. They police themselves, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They do build a government, but before they even say they are Muslim community under a government, they try to do their own schooling if they could and police themselves. And it'd be successful. It'd be low
With
crime
no
rate.
guns.
Yeah, what exactly. You see what I'm saying? It's because the rules that's set in play and that they're abiding by.
What's the population of the people?
What you mean, like
It's,
the
It's
Muslim
people that police,
community?
you can
or
pick any population you want to. You can go to any
I,
high class
it is
neighborhood in
fact.
America and just look at the prototype of how those communities are run. You don't see a bunch of squat cars riding around all day, pressing pressing everybody out because the people are policing the community themselves. They have a standard of living. They have a standard that's accepted, and everybody knows what it is. So if you're
So
not gonna abide by that, you can't stay around here.
all right,
Right,
so
right,
Right.
let me
like
ask
that.
y'all about the all right. So with the topics that we spoke on today, right?
Uh-huh.
If the crab plug was in our community, how should we police them?
What
If
happened with that?
if the
You
people
can't
that
come around here selling crash out meals. We're not gonna support that shit.
But what
but
happened
we
with
gonna
that? Because
support
I don't
them
know.
breaking in the crab spot?
What happened with that?
It
Supposedly,
wouldn't.
some patrons of the crab plug, which that's why I was gonna bring it up because that's how I even know about the space because the space table invited me to it.
Right. I didn't know about it until I saw your text.
Yeah, so the crab plug spot apparently had an issue with some patrons about like an 8 wing 8 piece special, to where the two patrons got the trash in the joint, got bricked. That's all the most I know based as public information. So I don't know their Instagrams or
It
I know
sound
the
like they
owner.
had an
I can
incident.
get in
Go ahead,
contact with him.
go ahead, Bone.
No, I'm saying I
My
know the
bad,
owner.
my
I can get in
bad. I'm
contact with
about
him.
to mute because my man.
Love, fool. Salam alaikum.
he just said he
Love,
had to
salam
mute.
alaikum.
He ain't leaving. He not leaving. He just said he had to mute.
Oh.
But the patrons broke the windows with bricks and all of that, right? Then the Sauce
Mm-hmm.
Walker situation, where a rapper comes into town with a rapper that's from the town, and then the rapper gets gunned down, and then the other rapper that's not from there gets shot. So how should we police those situations if those was our communities?
That was
The
his fault.
first the, the first jump sound like it was a all right. So you saying it was an incident in the store, and then the store made a special named after the
Oh.
incident. Yeah.
Yeah, but in our community, what do we police the store because they got bad service, or do we police the people that trash the store?
Both. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your kids know how to act in public so they don't go outside destroying shit just because somebody said something the wrong way. And then you make sure that that business is a stand up business to where they're not treating people crazy that come up in that jump.
Hmm.
Then you don't have them issues.
Yeah, and I think we also have to get back to, back in the day, what I'm saying, if I was doing something, if I was out of the line, like my next door neighbor would be able to pop me, be like, "What are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? You know better than that. These days, you can't be correcting nobody else's kid, and I think that that's a problem in our community. And I understand where the line can kind of get crossed when it comes to trying to parent somebody else's child, but I think our kids, our young people needs to have a certain level of respect for our seniors or for our elders in our community so
For
that they
sure.
know, like, nah, I'm around seniors. I'm not going to be cussing people out. I'm not going to be
For
doing
sure.
X, Y, and Z because I have a level of respect for our elders, for our seniors. And I also think as far as the business, we have to employ group economics because at the end of the day, if the business is not going to hold to a certain standard that our community requires, we're not going to patronize that business. That business got to go for the next business that's ready to live up to the expectations of the people in the community. So I just think that it starts from the basics, and it starts for us like really instilling in our children the point of respecting our neighborhoods, respecting our community, not trashing our community. Because if you have a certain level of respect, you're going to come with a different energy.
You
Right.
gotta have some
So
self respect first, though.
those people wasn't kids though. So what does with the popping analogy? How do we pop those adults then for trashing the establishment? What
I'm
does that
I'm
saying
look like?
I,
we
I'm
gotta
not
have some
saying
self respect.
I'm not saying you can pop an adult, but if that adult was raised in a way that he respected his community, respected his neighbors, then you wouldn't have that problem in the first place. Because you like, lie, I'm not going to show my ass off in this store because this is my neighborhood store, and I know it's going to get back to my family, and my family not going to be pleased. It's like a level of honor that we just kind of lost
They
sight of. That I honor my neighborhood, I respect the seniors and my ancestors, right? So,
Then for my
they
police
just texted me.
that own
They just texted
neighborhood
me. They said
guys,
it didn't get. Oh,
what does that look
I'm
like?
sorry. They just texted me. They said it didn't get destroyed.
I mean, the window and all that, the door, whatever that was.
Yeah, all right.
So what does that look like
What?
for the police that neighborhood? If they if adults come into our community and trash it, how do we police our neighborhood? What's that look like?
Like in theory, it's all great, but like neighborhoods aren't neighborhoods anymore. Like people don't necessarily like back in the day. People used to live in the same neighborhood like for a whole lifetime, so it was easy for your neighbors to be able to discipline you because y'all grew up together. You know what I'm saying? Or your parents grew up with their parents, etc. Now your neighbors change so frequently. We got all these weirdos out here. We got all these mixed demographics. It's kind of hard to have that kind of community in today's day and age. But as far as like the patronage, like we don't even respect the black businesses that we have. We'll respect another business before we respect ours. So like we won't even go to the mom and pops black owned joint, but we'll go to the carry out. And when the carry out people will
That's
talk
fine.
to us crazy and we won't do shit about it. We'll just keep going back to the carry out. Fuck you, mama son. We'll come right back later. So like there's no self-respect for the black dollar or community. We gotta get that back first before we can do some
That's why I
accountability.
believe. That's why I think integration was the worst thing that we could have ever done. I'm not saying it was today's standard is what it is, but I'm saying for what we're talking about right now, integration was the worst thing that could have ever happened because we
Yeah,
had
because
all of that.
we integrated with everybody else and everybody else closed their doors. Close their walls, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. So like the different communities, like this, like he said, the Islamic community, they build their own thing from ground up. The Jewish community, the Hebrew community, the um, the Amish
You
community,
know
all
about
of these communities do
You
this
see
for
people do
themselves.
it all the time. Yeah.
They got their own police
you know about
station. They
Claire
got their
Muhammad.
own hospitals, huh?
You know about Claire Muhammad. I used to go to the school on Martin Luther King on the Avenue, but they broke it down now, and now it's a big ass apartment building. Like he was just saying,
Yeah, I heard
Muslims
about that,
build
John.
themselves. Yeah, my mother, she helped build it. So like they're like you say, Muslims they have a community and they built within themselves. That's why, because I'm Muslim, born and raised. So like Muslims, that's the reason why with marriage there's no paperwork because we keep everything to us.
Say it's
It's
paperwork.
between
It's
you and
just
God.
amongst us. We got the paperwork. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not the government. You know what I'm saying?
Not
We
the
got to
government.
abide by these government laws, and that like that's a big thing. I'm glad Weeks brought that up too, because it's not just Muslims. You got Amish, you got other people, and we see that it works. That's the point. You see what I'm
So,
saying?
so
I
the
think we
panel is
scared,
pro segregation.
huh?
The panel is pro segregation.
I'm just saying, Boone made a hell of a point with that. Like, 'cause you see what everybody else did versus what we doing, and we still trying to figure it out. And now we're more splintered than ever. Where it was like an
We already had
initial
it figured
point.
out. No, we already had it figured out. And then
I'm
Martin Luther
saying
King
like
came up
we
with this
we
narrative.
got more splintered after COINTELPRO and all of that. Those specific, you know, programs that were meant to divide us and all that. Now we're even more splintered than we were with those original intentions because we went to integrate, like you said, and everybody else is like, oh no, we're gonna figure it out now. But we're just gonna
Yeah.
keep doing what we've been doing.
Yeah,
I
there's a
think I want to
revolution
know.
coming, bro.
Yeah, I think I want to know where I'm not welcome. Point blank. Period. Like if you put your whites only sign up, peace. Thank you for putting that sign up because I know I'm not welcome there. Right. And
And I'm gonna
so
still eat that.
yeah, because I mean they probably got they probably got raised in their potato salad. You're not gonna want it anyway. But still, it's just like I prefer
Ha!
to know where I'm not when I'm not welcome. And I think that's
Yeah.
what segregation would have done for us if we would have kept it going. But
And
Yeah.
hey, you know, points were made.
Now instead of Confederate flags, they got Trump stickers.
With the segregation thing, right? Because when we say segregation, understand that everybody can never be on one accord. I don't care if it's a race thing, it's a basketball thing, football. So it gotta be some type of segregation. You know what I'm saying? So you know who is who, like you said. You know what I'm saying? But not in the sense of racism. You get what I mean? That's the
mm,
bad part when you start doing it
yeah,
in racism. But
So
hmm
what
it's
Yeah,
segregation
Yeah, not
I
is?
don't
racist.
want I
Men
don't
and
want
women.
to use the word segregation. Just use the word like community building. There's nothing wrong with
yeah.
community building.
Segregation just got bad.
We
What you
still
say though, fam?
segregate men and women in sports
Yeah,
until
Huh?
they start not segregating
and
them.
that's what I mean. It's necessary, but then when you start saying it's racist, when you talk about race, no, it's not necessary. That's just way out of order. But
But I
segregation
haven't went
can.
into too many black Chinese places, but I've been to Asian soul food places.
Yeah.
I've been in black communities and, like, to y'all point, seen Spanish bodegas or Asian spots, and you know what I'm saying, all these other culture spots. But go to a Chinatown, I don't know how many black spots in Chinatown.
None. You're not gonna see
Zero.
none.
I
You
ain't
go
gonna
to
hold. I ain't gonna hold you, right? When I talk to somebody and they're telling me, "Hey, yeah, support my business. I'm black," I instantly don't. The reason I personally don't. The reason why I personally don't is because I feel like you want me to come to you just because you're black.
I'm with
I
you
want you
too.
to
I'm with
show
you on
me
that. That
what you
shit is a
have. Don't
turn
tell
off
me
to
who
me,
you
bro.
are.
I don't like that shit.
Right.
and not all of them be
And
having
then
their
I don't
business
like.
in order either.
Exactly. They just want you to do it because they black. Like,
I
Y'all
bro,
don't like the
no.
confusing
whole
me a little
price.
bit, fellas. Y'all confusing me a little tad bit.
I'm saying everybody
We
gotta
want to
be
You
be
on the
confused
right.
that. Where
integrated.
Come
you
with
confused
quality,
that?
man.
We want to be integrated. But
Exactly.
then you telling me somebody can't sell a selling point of being black owned is a throw off?
No,
Don't
no.
No,
He's
but
don't
saying
take it.
you
That
if
no.
you
Don't
The
only
fact that you're just black and then you
yeah,
own a
like don't
business that you think somebody's supposed to be black and buy your
don't
stuff,
sell your
your shit ain't
product
in
to me
order.
like, hey brother, come support my black owned business. Don't sell
Yeah,
me on that. That should not be
yeah.
your opening line.
Right,
Saying like sell your
mm-hmm.
product. I can tell it's a black owned business
right,
because you're black.
right.
I can see
You
that.
don't have to say
Look
certain
at
What
that.
shit.
you on the obvious, motherfucker?
Right.
What are you
Definitely.
selling exactly? Like, what are we doing?
yeah.
That like I get that. That mean that to me that sound like you. Oh, he on
But
some
got,
bullshit.
but can we also establish that we behind the track, right? So can we also establish a part of us being
What you
behind the
mean?
track is we don't give each other grace to be able to build. Your brother ain't gonna be J.C. Penney or all of these other established places based on the nepotism, the culture, the history that y'all all speaking on.
Right.
So
Wow,
Yeah, but
man.
at the
don't
end
I
of the
don't
don't
want you
day,
to be.
patronize your people.
yeah, but
I'm
at the
not
end of the
about to
day,
be your
you should be
fool.
able to
I don't
come
want
with a
you to be.
level. I don't care if you a one-man show, if you're working out your basement. You
Yeah,
need to give me a level of customer
I'm
service.
so I'm so
You need to
I'm
give me a
so
level of
sorry
customer
I'm
service.
so sorry to point this out to y'all because y'all know I love y'all. But Boone said when you said he said when somebody come to me and like, man, they
Right.
saying I'm a black owned business, that like throw me off, right? He never
Mm-hmm.
said they didn't have quality. Everybody just automatically in their brain when he said black owned business equated black owned business to low quality. Did
All
we
No,
right. So
just
look.
not?
No, that's not what he said.
he
That's
equated
not
it
what he
No,
to
said.
you
We
He
all
said
just did
it
that.
should be
It's
on the
no, no,
product.
no. I'm
just,
with you, fam. I'm
I
with
just
you. I
seen it.
follow you. Look, reason why I said that because I said most of the time when people say that, it's those people, the ones that
Yeah.
got fucked up quality, because the ones that they already know, like they don't even say that shit. Like, fine, you never said
Mm-mm.
support me because
But
you're
yes, I
black owned
have.
business.
Stop the cap. Yes, I have. 100
You,
times.
I'm talking
That's
about
why I
to
that's
can't
me
get
your
behind what
personally.
y'all saying. I can't get behind
that's
what
your
y'all saying.
first. So
Hold on,
so
hold on,
you
hold on.
gonna
I
You
go
have.
never said
Fine.
that to me ever.
so you
I'm
gonna
talking
go
about
up
to
to
Never said
me.
that.
somebody
But I
I'm
from
have.
a
not talking about in
But
general.
I've
so you
also produced low quality work too. I'm honest enough to say that. I had to.
That's
your
I
pitch
did
true,
growing
but
line
pains.
is
Like
your pitch line, I'm a black owned business.
that's what I'm saying.
Hey,
You
it
never
you
came
has
to
been,
me.
buy
but
my
it has
clothes.
been before.
Why would you
Not for
use
me.
That's
that
That's
on
not my
your
before.
number one
product?
pitch, but it has
Yeah.
been before.
That's a bad pickup line.
Because I've been in places where they cater to black owned businesses.
I was
That
about
they're
to
going to
say,
shop with you just because you black. And then they're going to figure
Yeah,
out,
so I
whoa,
shouldn't
so
have
what
to
is this?
save that. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
That
that's how
is a
you get your
bad.
ass in the algorithm.
right. All right, so
We ain't
look,
talking
that's
about typing it on a social media where they can't see the owner is black. We talking about in person. You
right,
get out
Right.
your car at Target, somebody
right.
walk up to you,
You see you
hey
black.
brother, support a black owned business, man. Can you buy my
Right.
CD? I'm instantly turned off because I
Yeah.
can see that you're
I'm
black.
just
I
being
need you to come
honest,
with a
bro.
better sales pitch, bro.
But he's saying, I'm your brother. I'm
Yeah,
not
that
just
sounds
black.
Yeah.
Like,
janky
it's
to
a
me.
All right,
black
show me what
owned
you
business.
got, nigga.
Like
It
I
Because
sounds
own
I'm
like
this.
talking
I'm
about
not. Nah, it's he's saying I'm not out here selling somebody else shit, bro. I'm out here selling my shit.
that
You're
sounds
black.
Thought that
janky.
I created. I'm out here selling
You're,
something that I brought to
That
fruition.
sounds janky to me.
right.
So the
All
young,
right, so
the
look.
young
See,
dude that's
and
out there, it's like,
now
hey, OG, hey,
is that
OG.
what integration
And you,
did to us?
No, all right,
No.
so look.
oh, that's what the scammers did to us. That's what the
I was about to
scammers
say,
did.
yeah, I was about to say, fine. I was that nigga that'll fall for that shit, cuz.
That's what
Oh,
the
yeah, black on.
scammers did.
Yeah, I support that shit. Got my
So
pocket full
when a
of money. I'm
youngin,
just gonna give it to him anyway.
if I
Guess what?
if I
This
see a
nigga got
youngin
some
like
socks that
Why we
somebody
acting
else
give
like
you
we
an
selling
never
example.
bought bullshit from every other culture? So
I don't.
Dog,
I
I
don't buy
on
never.
bullshit.
purpose
I'm
or
frugal,
accident.
I'm
dog. I
not
don't
gonna say
buy
What
his
you
name.
saying?
bullshit. I ain't
Dude, I'm
buying it
not
if I
gonna say
don't
his
like the
name, right?
presentation.
You ever
I
seen
bought
quality
bullshit
so
before.
bad you just gave
On the
them the
accident
money
and
and
on
told
purpose.
them to
But I'm
keep the
saying in
product?
the sense of,
I
bro, like,
bought bullshit
I,
from black owned
I
businesses
bought dinners
because
like
they
that before, boom.
me
because
too,
they
me too. So look, so that's what I'm saying. Listen, bruh. Listen though, bruh. I'm telling you, my experience with those type of people that say that shit, nine times out of 10, it was fucked up. I'm just speaking about experience. That's why I said that's a turn off for me. So when I see it now, it's like not until I see your shit that I'm really gonna make a whole judgment. As soon as you
it's a
come off
trigger
like that,
word.
though, I ain't gonna lie, you gonna throw me off, and I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, here we go.
But I
What you got,
agree
bro?
with black-owned businesses are disenfranchised, man, and it's an uphill battle with black-owned businesses based on all of these economic struggles and all of these things that we talk about all the time.
I don't
So
believe
Can
how
that
do
either.
somebody
we
tell me?
flip? How do we
When
I
flip
somebody
don't
that
tell
if
me
we
it's a
don't
I
black
pour
owned
don't
into
business,
each
believe that
other?
either. That's a mindset and that is a myth.
man.
That is not true. Because
When somebody
as a
tells me it's a
minority
black owned,
business, you can get all types of grants and loans and levels up.
So if
You
you
ain't got to
don't,
sell to your own people either. You can take that shit outside
when
the
For
somebody
community.
tells me
sure.
it's a black owned
which I
business,
just
I'm
said, they
known
shut
for
the
paying
doors
too
on
much
us.
with no customer service.
What the product hitting on, man?
Yeah.
So black people
100%.
The
got bad customer
product should
service,
sell
boom.
itself. If
Nah.
the product is good, it will sell itself.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because 9 times out of 10, bro, that's what it is. And that's just
Mm-hmm.
period in business. You don't even gotta say nothing. This shit
You ain't
is
gotta
that.
say nothing.
You know what I'm saying? To the point
And
where
then
the person is coming for the product and probably don't even know who is that until they get there and they're like, oh, that's a black owned nigga. That's when you know your shit talk. You know what I'm saying? But when you gotta,
But you know what you saying when you say that?
well, I never use that line though. That's another thing too. Support because I'm a black owned business. Cause that never fucking mattered to me. I want your shit if it's good. You know what I mean? I don't see skin color. You a good nigga, you got good product, you got good mannerisms and stuff like that. I'm gonna be more intrigued as I get into conversation with you. Black or not. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like the people that I'm talking about specifically make it bad for the people that's actually trying to do something that got black businesses.
I wish Sheeta was still on here because she gave a little small example about being in a Louis store. And I
A what
wish I could
store?
have asked her if she got offended in that Louis store and if she still bought something. Because how
Okay.
many stories do I know about niggas getting offended in those stores
Yeah.
and niggas still
Still
spending
buy
the
that
money?
shit. Still buy that
So
look,
shit.
I'm not
bro,
saying it should happen on our side.
Right.
it
I'm
should
just
happen
saying
everywhere.
we
If you
speaking
feel
as if your own people should come with a higher standard when you know they got a
everybody
harder
should
price. It's just like it's like
ev-
backwards thinking to me. I don't understand that.
no.
How
We
should
gotta
black
have
people
the
bring
highest standards.
higher standards
Everybody
We
with
just
harder price? Like
we got to
everybody
hold
has a
ourselves a
standard.
level standard. We got to hold ourselves to a level, a higher level. That's what my mom used to always tell me. Like, hey, you are a black man in the United States of America. You're gonna have to be 10 steps ahead of the competition. You're going to have to be 10 steps ahead of your peers. Is it right? I'm not saying that it's right, but it's the reality of the fact that we live in the United States of America where our businesses has to be top of the line. Like I have to, your brand should supersede the fact that you are black. I should find out that you're black after I've already purchased what I need to purchase and be like,
Like
oh,
I
this is
just
a
said.
black owned business.
Like I just
That's
said.
dope. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that we have to really we have to, unfortunately, we have to hold ourselves to a different level of standard that everybody else is held to. And unfortunately, that's
Can I,
just the nature of the beast.
Hey
can I ask
Randy,
y'all a real question at the end of the day?
talk
Can
that
I
good,
shit,
ask
y'all.
all of y'all a real question at the end of the day?
good,
So you have $1,500, right?
right?
The deck on your house falls apart. It costs you $1,500 to fix this deck.
Right.
4 or 5 different great quality black businesses come to you and say, I can do this right now for $1,500. And then a Mexican come and say, give me 8. Where you going with?
I'm gonna go with the black business because I know how Mexicans work. That shit gonna look good.
It's
Niggas
a
I'm
gonna
saying it's
fall
the same
apart.
disingenuous
quality
question
though.
for me.
No, I'm talking about the same quality. I'm talking about
It's a
same quality.
biased
same
question for me,
quality
bro.
though.
My father was a contractor and shit, so I'm gonna go with the black people. I ain't gonna lie.
I need to see the portfolio of their work.
I'm
I'm
saying
about to
I'm a
same
say
judge.
quality.
just for what he's saying, same quality though. Of
He
course
just
we gonna
saying
go the cheaper
same
price.
quality work, cheaper price.
Yeah, I
All
take.
of
Of
Right,
them,
course we gonna take the cheaper price.
all
That's
of
for
them
right.
sure.
got the same quality work.
Yeah,
I'm
the
going with
Yeah,
Migos.
Amigo.
Yeah, we go with the
Unless
Migos.
that's
unless I'm just on some like I want to support a black owned business. So if I got a
Right,
tie to one of
right,
those companies, if I got a relative or a friend or something, I'll probably go with them.
right.
But that's
right.
like that's
100%.
$700, dog. To me, I might even have to mention it. I'm sorry, I might have to be
Yeah,
I
that
think
type
you
of
hit it.
person.
I think you
Like,
hit
hey,
it.
look,
That's what I was
I
about
want
to
to
say. I
I
need to
want to rock
understand.
with you, but the Migo, he only hit me for
yeah,
8. So
yeah.
when you take 12, when you take a stack, you know what I'm saying?
What about
I might have to
security?
He gonna
Is
barter,
it
say
is it
dog.
a
these
different
black niggas
security level
every
with
time
the
I come
cheaper
around these black
Migos than
niggas,
the
they want
black people,
deals.
or that don't matter?
No, I need to know the
Because we
quality.
gonna
I
be
don't
there.
really care about. I need to know is the
Yeah, we
quality
need to know
good.
the quality. That's
If the
all.
quality is the same, and there's a $700 price range, you would be a fool to go to the black people
Black
just because
business,
they black.
because they black.
That's bad business. You shouldn't even be a business owner at that
Yeah,
point.
that's wild.
Would
If
that
you
just
own a
be because
business,
they
run
black
the
though?
say what?
Would
That would
that just
have to be
because they
just because
black?
they black. In that
No,
case,
that's to me. That's like I
So
don't know that.
how we build community, how we build network, how we build repertoire. You think you got a
all right.
bet you got a better chance building a established relationship with the Migos or the black people?
We that's
It,
So
we the same.
bruh
We
said
the
yeah,
this
same.
earlier.
Do I go and negotiate with the black people that the
I'm
Migos is
negotiating
charging
with
me 8?
everybody. I'm
Look,
negotiating with everybody.
yeah, we
But that
negotiating
goes back
everything.
to
But
that. Go ahead.
who said this
No,
earlier? They was like, you gotta sell outside the black community. And look, this is a plan that I told Ball and them when I was start selling clothes and all that, and they was, selling stuff, and they was like, man, niggas don't support this and that. And I was realizing when I was hopping around with these other businesses, bro, these niggas got variety of other motherfuckers buying most of their shit. The niggas that's coming, that's just they men and they piece them off. They already got a price range for them. But the majority of how they making their money was Virginia niggas, white niggas, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Where it was like, yo, y'all got it showed me stop trying to sell to your people. You know what I'm saying? Because they
right.
don't got it like that. We saying, we try to put it together. So how we coming to each other? We
They
barely got
could
shit.
they could have it, but they not necessarily like I learned this the hard way too when I started my brand, my business web. Your
Right.
circle of influence, your immediate circle, they're never gonna look at you as what you see yourself as a business.
That
They're
too.
gonna always see you
Ever.
as the person they grew up with. So they're not gonna support you in the manner
Fact.
that you want them to
Fact.
until you take off.
Yeah.
Once they
And
see
it's no
everybody
disrespect.
on you, then they're gonna hop on your line. But
Yeah.
Damn.
they
And it's
just
no
the
disrespect.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like
You know what I'm saying?
it's just the way it is.
They're watching
That's
you
just the way
grow.
it is.
They're
Yeah.
just watching your success.
Mashallah. Yeah. Nah, for real.
They're watching you. They
And we and
supporting
we
you, watching you grow and blow up.
and we have to stop getting offended when they don't support us.
Fact.
I have
That
folk
part.
that be like, you ain't come by, you know what I'm saying, my
Yeah.
product when I had it
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
Why are you
Oh,
expecting that from me? Why are you
Right.
expecting me to support you just because I'm your friend? Right? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I think we have to think about it strategic and we have to stop being getting offended when our
Right.
family members or friends don't
Right.
support our vision.
Right. Yeah.
what I learned
Yeah.
is don't take nothing personal. Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't take
That
it
Hard.
personal.
business. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then back to that other point with like valuing your dollar, whatever you're saying, like why does the black community got to work extra hard for you to spend your money? Everybody should have to work hard for you to spend your money because you had to work hard to get that shit.
Right.
So if you
Yeah.
go into Nordstrom's and you asking for customer service because you try and get your girl a bag, and I know it's Valentine's or whatever, and they acting all sassy with you, walk out,
Right.
leave a bad review. Don't
Right.
spend your money there. Go
Right.
get the bag somewhere else. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like hold everybody accountable in that
Right.
aspect. If I
Right.
go into a food spot and they acting crazy, or even if the line too long and it's a bunch of people in that joint and they seem like they stressed out, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Because I know they're gonna rush through my food. And if I
Right.
get a bag full of food that ain't hot or
Right.
whatever,
Right. Right.
I ain't even be mad at them. I'm mad at
Right.
myself for sitting here waiting for that shit.
Facts. 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 And
But,
I just feel
but
like,
I gotta check out though, bro. I gotta
oh,
get this
that's what
TV
I
together.
wanted to say too. All right,
And me
boom.
too.
Bro.
See, you, bro.
Love.
Like Randy, like what you saying, like I don't really feel like we gotta be at the high standard. I think we at least gotta be up to par. Up to par at least.
At,
You know what I'm
at
saying?
minimum. At
Yeah,
minimum.
that's at the minimum. Ain't no nigga, you selling fruities and all my fruities melted, and just because you black, nigga, I gotta buy
Hmm.
these motherfuckers. Like,
Hmm.
no, bro. This is
Now I'm
that's
I'm
all I'm
I'm
saying.
with more of a. I'm just gonna be a real. I'm gonna come when you if you leave with that. I might come and look at your shit. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna buy it because then I'm gonna do a quality check and be like and
Yeah,
then like you might or you know what I'm saying because I like we said about the food. I've done that before already and realized okay for my own resources I may gotta slow down with this
right,
pro shit. You
right,
feel me?
right, right, right.
But I'm with definitely with you, Randy, about the whining and all of that. I ain't with the whining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like I had to play devil's advocate tonight, but I ain't with the don't like you. It's like nah, like we I know the plight is harder, but we gotta still do the work. Like
Mhm.
yeah, we
you know what I'm
You
do.
saying?
got to do the work, and then you have to be able to take honest feedback and criticism
Facts.
about your
Constructive
product,
criticism. Yep.
I
because
think
at
that's
the
important.
it what I find a hard time, because this is what I do. I do marketing and branding on the side, and what I find a hard time is that a lot of my clients, they don't like the feedback. When I tell them your website sucks, your website, the user experience, I mean, you have broken links, the things ain't, you don't have the product. I go to your website and the product that's on your website, you don't have it, you out of stock, a lot of things. And so you have to be able to when you take these feedback, they give you all these excuses, right? When you give the
Right,
feedback, they have excuses as to why.
right.
But instead of saying, you know what, thank you, I'll take that and I'll go back and refine my product, or I'll go back and refine my brand. And so it's just this level of forethought or insight that we need to be open to receive honest feedback about our product and our service. If it's not up to par, okay, that doesn't mean that you down and out. That just means
Right.
you need to come back to the table with
Yeah,
something
yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah. Go back to the lab. That's all.
And I always try to argue. Don't argue your explanation because it's gonna seem like an excuse. Argue what the solution is. Because somebody say, hey, you can't do this, da da da, and you have an
Right,
explanation of, hey, maybe my resources might be low, or da da da. Instead of saying, hey, my resources, just say, is ways where I can get more resources or da da. Because
right.
be more solution based when you take your
There you
feedback,
go.
because that is so much more productive of people wanting to help you out
Fact,
Mhm.
if you're
I am.
losing a resource of maybe transportation or need a
fact,
camera upgrade or
fact.
need a whatever the hell it might be. So I always tell them that it's like it ain't always oh my mama this and my dad
Right,
it's like
Mhm.
cool bro because everybody know that when they see you slacking they know it's something they not getting over. It's
yeah,
something personal
yeah,
that's taking more of their you know what I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
time than
Yep. Everybody know that. Yep.
yeah you because every people go through it so you
Mm-hmm.
can it's not hard to identify. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? So
right.
especially the youth. I try to explain that. And with programs that I'm in, I'm dealing with adults, and
Right.
I will explain them. I don't got all the answers, bro, but the key factor is wanting to be able to receive an answer. Like, because if you're not pushing back for education, people gonna smell that and be like, "Oh, you just pushing back to give a reason why you can't do it." Like, ain't nobody trying to do
Facts. Nobody want
it
that.
because everybody could not do it. That's the
Right.
easiest thing to do.
That's easy.
Wake up and not do nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you giving so many reasons about that, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
equality is an issue in our culture because a lot of people got to get supported or don't know how to market outside of the area, outside of
Right.
their family, and
Fact.
it's hard to get people to take you serious that know you for real, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even
Fact.
like hate. That's just
Fact.
realism. A lot of
Like,
these superstars, we take them very serious. We look at them astute because we've never been in a breakfast spot with them before.
facts.
We never
Facts.
been in a nightclub with them. We never even had a conversation with them. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So you know the people that we know close to those spots and the conversations, you know, like dang, you get a reality check that people are just regular people.
Regular people, bro.
Basically.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes they
Regular
just do
people.
astronomical things, or
Yeah.
they capitalize off certain moments and situations better than
Right.
others, but they're
Regular.
not necessarily like, you know,
Right.
above and beyond.
Right.
And all of that could be achieved by
Yeah.
anybody if you just wake up and focus on it.
Facts. That's all it is. Focus. You know what I'm saying? Discipline. You know what I'm saying? And all this takes maturity. That you know what I'm saying? You will never be able to discipline yourself or focus if you don't have the mature mindset. You know what I'm saying? Real life. And I just feel like we could do it as people, but I think we a little too stuck on pro black shit, like black against the world shit. You know what I'm saying? I think we gotta like get about that shit just a little tiny bit. We do gotta fight because it's against us, but at the same token, these niggas can't fuck with us for real. We
But
ain't like they
we still living
annihilated
with
the
people
whole,
that experience that shit though.
huh?
We still living with people that experience those certain type of things though.
I get that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a time where we gotta move on and we got, well, like you said, solutions, bro. Sitting here and complaining about the white man and the government, that shit been going on since I was a baby. I'm just like tired of hearing that song. You hear me? To the point where it's like I seen us apply ourselves through this stuff and get something accomplished. Yeah, we ain't get out the hood or whatever, but shit, nigga, where we came from, nigga, that's a lot, nigga. Nigga, you know what I'm saying? We did a lot, and that's because we put our mind to it. We ain't bitch, we ain't complain. We knew what we was up against. We understood it, and when we didn't, we tried to understand it, and we learned it, and then we moved. When you sit there and dwell on that, oh my God, see, my grandparents was a slave and all that. Look, fuck that shit, man. that shit keep you in the same spot. That's all
That's
I
so
just be
tough.
like. But I kind of be sounding like, what, you don't like black people, y'all? Nah, I love my people. I just don't like that shit. I don't like to see keep complaining. Nigga, let's find a solution. And then we like, what the fuck? That's it. If we can't find a solution, we need to figure this problem out then. What the fuck is the real problem? Then we can find a solution. You know what I'm saying? It's all these steps to all of it. You know what I mean? It start with niggas like us though. You know what I'm saying? We talking, but now we gotta put the action to it. Like, bro, got this stuff going on. You got your stuff going on. It's gonna motivate me, get my stuff going on. Then weeks, boom. That's how it starts right there. You gotta bring it together. See, that's the point. United we stand, divided we fall. We been doing shit. Yeah, oh, she back there, Kai. We've been doing stuff. We see millionaires and successful actors, basketball players, all that. But it's too spread it out. Ain't nobody with nobody. And once they with each other, they start beefing. You know what I'm saying? We gotta learn that unity is the key, bro.
There it
Once they
is.
separate you, it's over. This is war strategy. Any type of strategy, you know that. Once you separate these niggas, it's over. I can pick these niggas off one by one. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. I'm gonna close it. That's a wrap for the Sice Room, man. Episode 6. From local food spots to national policy. One thing's clear, the people are watching, and the truth definitely matters. Hit that subscribe button. Y'all already know I'm gonna have the last episode on this side and subscribe on that side. Let us know what y'all feel about in the comments, man. How y'all feel about it? What y'all want to talk about next week? If y'all gonna join us next week, we greatly appreciate y'all for coming to the Sice Room, man.